Hello and welcome to Unit 7 of the Lean Construction MOOC. This unit will look at visual management and explain what Kanban is. So these are both two Lean tools, so visual management, so graphically what you can see, and we will also go through the process of what Kanban is. So what is visual management? So visual management enables anyone to immediately access the status of a working area at a glance, regardless of the prior knowledge. So on the bottom left there you see a dashboard from a car. You can clearly see speed being travelled at, revs of the engine, much fuel you have, and what the temp gauge is doing with a glance. So you clearly know indication what's performing, and if there's any hazard lights up, or if there's any warning signs. Similarly, we have a graph in the middle which is taken from construction project that's indicating different health of different aspects of progress, cost, safety of the project. So these are just an example of what visual management looks like, and we'll also be looking at what Kanban is. Visual management, two main aspects here. It's very important to understand what gets measured is what gets done. So what we mean by that is putting your visual aspects up on a wall so people can actually see is important, but they need to be important for your project or meeting health and safety, because whatever is put up there as a metric or a measurement, that's actually what's going to be done, because you have to measure it to see how your performance is, and then you also have to assess is that good, bad, or indifferent. So what gets measured gets done, and then we'll also look at the term 5 S's and how that helps a workplace improve, and that's a lean tool. But first we'll concentrate on the visual aspect. So there's three main aspects to visual management. First one is visual display. So what are we presenting? Then we have visual metrics, what are we actually measuring and why, and then visual controls, what are to make sure we follow standards, and we must have must do this, and the graphically representative. So an example of visual display, so you quite clearly see this is where things need to be organized and put back in. So with a glance I can see that all these files are in the correct order that they should be. They not have to follow 1 to 20, but visual display I can see clearly that is put back, or I'm not missing any of these with a glance. Visual metrics, so what are we actually measuring and how are we presenting them? So an example here of visual metrics is we have deliveries, quality, safety, or even progress as a metric of maybe the overall project and what percentage has been completed to date. How are we ahead of program or behind program? How much costs, or how many people hours have we spent on the project without a health and safety issue, or if we've got a mechanism for near misses or for early warnings, how does that look like? And then visual controls, so what you must do, what things you must be looking out for. And visual controls is making sure that really we're following what the standards are. So example, on site you must have your hard hat, you must have the appropriate footwear, you must have your high vis, and you must be inducted onto site to understand what the risks are for that project. Would be an example. And the signage up saying no unauthorized people, anybody working, and these are an example of signage that we can see on site and every day. But that's a visual control thing. So look, at the sign was there, you didn't abide by the sign, you saw it, you understood, oh, I'm in an area that I must have my right PPE on, I can't access that area until I have that. Following on, so how we get to improve our visual workplace is a number of steps, and this has been how we try to improve it. So we've talked about 5 S's, and this is the basis of 5 S's being explained. So we have sort, set in order, or stabilize, depending on where it's been looked, and have both terminologies: shine, standardize, and sustain. And we're going to go through each one of them. So the first one is sort. So basically sorting out the office space, making sure that things are, if you've got a site cabin, or if you've got a kind of a working area, what's the housekeeping like on site? What's the housekeeping like in your office? Is boxes left that's been delivered left sitting inside the door? Is the paper, is the equipment left there not sitting in the right location? So sort out actually tidy the place up and sort it out. So this is the first action, to identify and limit any unnecessary items within the workplace. So if the storage boxes, why aren't they in the store? Why are they duplicated? Are they unpacked? Are they just left in boxes? To try to sort out, have we got too many tools? Is the generator that's broken? These all need to be moved on and disposed of. So it's basically good housekeeping and sort of tidying up your working area. Second one is set in order or stabilize. So put a process in place that you can quickly identify that yes, everything is in order as it should be. So it kind of, if it's not, you can see quite clearly. So the example here was the back to the folder or your pens and pencils. So there's a place for everything that needs to be. So that's setting in order. So you've sorted out, but then you said, you know what, we can do better. We can set this in order and tidy it up. And actually there's a mark out our container that actually we will put all our small tools in this area that they can actually be hung up inside the container. And there's location where, I don't know, the concrete, vibrator, trowels, wheelbarrows are located in that section and not just discarded every place. So that's kind of setting in order and marking things up on site. Shine is getting in and giving things a good clean. So this is a third action to clean everything from an inspection, workplace and equipment. So basically keep things how you would like to have them maintained and managed. So having your weekly, bi-weekly cabin cleaned, or your sites, or even in the office, make sure that if you're hot desking, or even if you're looking at your own desk, how clean is it? And you've cleaned it, you sorted things out 2 weeks ago, has it gone back to actually being a little bit disorganized? And are you following the standard approach or your set in order approach? And then you need to get in and give it a good clean and inspect. So things have to clean and inspect what you need to, and put limits in what's good, what's bad, and what's kind of can do better. This is coming into step 4. So this is the fourth action to develop a common methods for consistency. So you've done step 1 to 3. You're trying to improve on this and trying to keep that constant. So this is consistency, like keep the first 3 steps and make these a standard practice. So basically photograph if you're leaving your desks or hot desks, and this is what it should look like when you've left or when you get to it in the morning. You're putting a standard practice in place, what we expect, what's the minimum, and that's step into stage 4. And the final stage, this is the 5th and final action, that is condition, where all members carry out the steps 1 to 4 themselves as part of the culture. So you start looking, going, do you know what, you don't need to be told, you understand that best practice, it's my responsibility to make sure the site is tidy, good housekeep, that we're trying to continuously improve. We could mark out that could be that store could be set up better. Now we know how to look after, we can do a deep clean into it. We've got pictures up internally showing that this is what it should look like, everything should be put back in place, and that's the 5th step. So trying to sustain that 1 to 4 steps as the improvement. So that's the 5th and final